Oh my God, guys, it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic outside, and I'm parenting. Jesus! Ooh, I know this is a trying time for you. This is a trying time for me. But, Cozy One Podcast has to still push through. I've been pushing through for the past, 4 months. This has not been the summer of my life. I did not enjoy this summer. If you want to call it that. I'm not enjoying, scanning in homework and emailing it to teachers. I'm not enjoying that. Class Duo is on pivot. Google Classroom is on pivot. Alerts is coming on my phone. I'm always checking the news. I don't know what's going on. This election is going to be wild. It's just a wild time. And I just want you guys to know that I am here with you. Thank you for tuning back into Cozy Moon Podcast for season 9. Give me clap for season 9. Yes. It's going to be a good one. I'm being really transparent this season and sharing a lot of my life with you, sharing a lot of things that people are not thinking about during this pandemic and this quarantine. And I just really want us to be better human beings throughout this whole pandemic, because that's what we need. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episodes this season. Woo! Let's just get into it. There's so much to talk about. Let me start with these kids. These kids. Let's just get into this. Hey guys, welcome back to Cozy One Podcast. My name is Shan, Mommy Rocky, Mama of the Girls. Welcome back to season 9. This is episode 2, Virtual School Madness, because that's exactly what it is. There's so much to discuss, so let's just get into it. Some of us parents have to deal with the fact that there's no school, there's no daycares, there's shorter hours, or there's no work, or there's layoffs, or we're forced to work from home, something new that we never had to do. For some of us, there's no health care. Stay-at-home parents have to figure out, what are they going to do for income? Myself. Some courts are closed. Evictions are still being had. Some landlords are being more understanding. Some landlords aren't. It's just a mess. It's a mess. What? There's that. There's other siblings in the house while one is on a virtual laptop having virtual learning. It's madness, okay? And I just feel like our government is dragging their feet on unified planning. How can parents pay more for kids having virtual online laptops at camps and daycares because they want more money, because they have a class full of 6-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. They have a class full of 9-year-olds. Everybody is learning on a different level, all in the same room. So yes, more attention has to be given, but at the same time, people are being forced to work shorter hours, which means lesser pay, depending on where you work. And it's kind of like, how can parents pay more when we're being cornered into making less? And during a pandemic, some people are scared to take their kids to daycare, scared to take their kids to camp. And I don't blame them, because my kids' camp got closed, I want to say last month, due to one teacher going to get a COVID testing and coming back that she had COVID with no symptoms. So nobody really understands what this virus means to adults, what this virus means to older people, newborns, or toddlers. And toddlers are nasty. because they're always tasting and touching things. So the hours some parents work won't cover bills, won't cover rent, won't cover life insurance, won't cover the next month. And everybody's under stress. Everybody's under this level of unsureness. A lot of people are dabbling into savings that they thought they would never have to touch because they were quote unquote working. A lot of people enjoyed a lifestyle of quote unquote security, and jobs have up and disappeared. And it's just a very trying time. It's madness and it's a mess. And then you have to think about the level of kids who learn differently, right? And parents who are not trained to teach kids who learn differently, that have to now figure out, how can I be more hands-on with my kids? For me, I've always been hands-on with my kids, but between my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old, my 3-year-old has no interest in reading a book on her own. My 3-year-old has no interest in, let's do these flashcards. Let's count this money. Read me a book. Like, that's not what she's into. She likes her iPad. And even though she has educational games on there, she likes kids' YouTube. Like, she likes watching kids play. And it's just, like, how do you balance it all? And I don't know. You have to find some level of sanity. You have to find some level of balance. Kids who live with mom and dad may be probably better off because maybe one can work and one can stay home, or they can flip-flop who helps with what. And kids who live with one parent now have to be home with kids, different ages. Imagine parents who have 4 kids going to elementary school, or 4 kids going to elementary school, middle school, and high school. Okay? Imagine this being your child's senior year, and they've been looking forward to this year of school, and this is how it's starting. And it's a mess. And what I don't want is a large group of kids being held back in a grade because there was a pandemic. And for kids who have late birthdays, that's already an issue. And to get back on track from summer, which was a weird summer because it was kind of extended. The summer for my kids started in April. It included masks, and it included you not being able to do outside things, and it included you limiting your socialization with people and other kids. Parents who had no breaks, like me. Like, my kids have been with me consistently every day, all day, since April. It is August, okay? And it's been hard, it's been rough, and kids have been home and they're tired of being home. And I've tried every different thing to do in the house at home, and I'll talk a little bit about that on things you can do in the house while at home, but it's hard out here, okay? Parents now scrambling for remote work, and there's barely nothing out here, okay? Like myself, I can't find anything. Like, I've applied to so many jobs. I've had about 4 interviews so far, and I'm just like, what are you looking for? Like, what are you looking for? Like, I've done more work than this. Like, this is nothing. This is part of what I've done in the past. What are y'all looking for? And to have a team member at my job before I had to leave say, well, how old is your kid? Does she have to go to school this year? Like, what? Like, why would you even consider me not allowing my child to have a decent education so I can come here and clock in for you for a few hours? Like, it doesn't balance out. I'm sorry. These workplaces have to understand that They do not come before your family. They do not come before your children. They do not come before you being a father or a mother. And they try to make you completely change your priority list. They try to make you completely kill your peace at home. And as long as you come in and you do what we ask, like, you'll have this job. But what's a job when your kids are failing? What's a job when you got a spouse that's depressed? What's a job when you got family members dying? Like, where's your mentality while you're at work? So that's the mess. And these are mad times because a lot of prayer is helping me right now. A lot of creating content is helping me right now. Working out is helping me. Music and good vibes. I've had mornings of just tears. I've had nights of I don't knows. All I can say is, parents out there, we have to do our best and we have to find our own way. And please continue to read to your kids during this quarantine, no matter what their ages are. Please make sure that they are reading. Please teach them their own truth, especially in the history department. Now that they're at home, and please go through your photo albums. Please pour into them. Please limit the news, because most of the time the news is there to create fear. And update your resume right now. Network and talk to old coworkers and seeing what they're doing. See where they're working right now, and just try to figure out as best as you can, because that comfortable unemployment is no longer there. And that's if the state that you're in is actually giving you the unemployment pandemic funds that you were supposed to get. Some states haven't dispersed it. Some places are still pending. Some people haven't paid their mortgage in 3 months. And then the mortgage people are disgusting. The way that they're penalizing people is they're making them pay like 5% interest on top of them making a late payment on their mortgage. So it's really crazy. If you are blessed out here with the finances to still take care of your home, still take care of your family, and not dip into your savings, and be able to pay your mortgage on time, and be able to pay your car insurance on time. And these phone companies, like, the one thing you would think these phone companies would be understanding about is a pandemic. They still want their hundreds of dollars for that phone bill. Like, everybody buckled and you was like, you know what? We're being understanding that this might be late. These phone companies are like, hey, your bill is due on the 22nd. I expect it on the 22nd. The 23rd is going to be late. Okay? The 1st, we're going to cut you off. Like, that is how they are right now. It's just mad times. Like, growing up, I never had to go to school during the pandemic. This was never a thing. So this is new to everybody. It's new to kids. It's new to parents. It's new to doctors. It's new to grandparents. And I feel sorry for the grandparents who are out here raising their grandchildren because their parents are not around, and having to figure out, like, what do you mean a login? What do you mean a password? What do you mean virtual learning? What is that? And they have to teach themselves. You know, it's a lot that's going on out here, and we do not have a government that is understanding in all aspects of what this might mean for a household, what this might mean for a family, how that will affect a family. I don't think they're thinking about that. And it's unfortunate. It really makes you question, does doing things the right way really count? It really makes you question that. Mind you, I haven't even dabbled into the PTSD of what it is to be a brown-skinned American during this pandemic. To see these killings and these shootings on television, to see it on Twitter, to see it on Facebook, to see people murdered on TV, to have your children question you on why an officer is kneeling on someone's neck, on why an officer is pulling someone and punching them or shooting them in the back. It's a lot of wrong going on right now. It's a lot of right going on right now. And I'm very understanding to it. I'm very understanding that everybody is not going to cope the same way. I'm very understanding that everybody's resources is not the same thing. But the system, these companies, and this government is shrugging. They're shrugging to this. It's like, you know what? If you don't have, then all well. If you can't do, then all well. You should have did this. You should have had this. Your family should have did this. And that's just where we are right now. That's just where we're at right now. I just really wanted to be very transparent with this season, because with the seasons that I had with Black Fathers Matter in June, that was really good. I couldn't talk about this. With the season I had recently of mama's health and going through different health illnesses that women face, primarily, I didn't want to bring this up. So now that I have a space and a time to bring it up, and these are times of reflection, I decided to share it with you guys. But please email me any questions or any thoughts. I will share whatever resources I know of that may be able to help people, whether it's, food, places you can pick up food if you need help with food, for your state. What can you do financially? What type of funding you can get? What can you do with your kids at home that may help them with math, reading, science, English, websites you can go to. Just email me at cozywombmama@gmail.com, and I'll share with you whatever I can that may help any parents out here going through this. I am in Georgia, so I know about Georgia resources, but if you are somewhere where you cannot get internet, that is another thing. A lot of these families don't have internet. A lot of these families can't afford to have another bill in the household. And I know in times of Netflix, HBO, cable, and all of that, people don't think about that, but it's hard out here, okay? It's one thing to be like, you know what, this county, we're going to do virtual learning, and then they have to pick up a laptop from a school. And on top of that, they have to figure out how they're going to get internet at their house, and they don't have internet at their house, and who's going to pay for that? And for my child's county, they're doing like free Wi-Fi for the kids that go to schools in the area. So you can just go to like the library parking lot. The library is not open, but you go to the library parking lot and use their free Wi-Fi for the kids to do work. So that is something that they're doing. It's just a very wild time right now. And the one thing that people need is they need people to be compassionate, people to be understanding, people to be patient, and people to, really put yourself in their shoes. Okay? Put yourself in their shoes. Don't just think about you. It's never just one perspective. And just really be out here being a whole human being. That is what's going to help a lot of people right now. That is what's helping me, is other people around me being human beings. And please check in with your people. Check in with your friends who Live alone. Check in with your friends who have kids. Check in with your family that have kids. You know, ego and pride is high right now, just like this pandemic, okay? There's a lot of people that need help, that don't want to ask for help and don't know how to ask for help. So just make yourself available if you are available. Make yourself known that, you know, you are there, you are around if they need anything, and just really just be, again, a whole human being. Thank you for listening to Cozy Room. Peace. Yay!